Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to December, the most wonderful time of the year. I cannot believe that I am saying that it is December. I am so excited that it is December. I love Christmas time. I love the holidays. But today I am back to share with you guys my monthly favorites for the month of November. Now I kind of considered not doing a monthly favorites video this month just because I didn't feel like I had a whole lot of things that had changed throughout the month. But as I really sat down and asked myself, okay, what have I really been loving and using this month, I actually came up with quite a few things. A couple of these items are repeats, but I love mentioning repeats. I know they're not exciting to hear about, but if I'm still loving something, I like to tell you guys about it because as someone that constantly is trying different makeup, I feel like it's noteworthy if something stays on my desk for weeks or months at a time. So hopefully you guys will be okay with that. So let's kick things off with my repeat items. And the first one is the Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder. I'm loving this stuff. So I'm going to talk in a minute about what kind of makeup look I've been really into this month. And this bronzer has been essential for that because it's such a warm bronzer, but warm in a very good way. It looks very natural, at least on my skin tone. It looks like a healthy, like I've been kind of out in the sun. Now I know that kind of sounds like, you know, why would you want your cheeks to look sun-kissed in the wintertime? Because that just doesn't really make sense. But I get really pale and pasty in the wintertime and I feel like my skin needs just a little bit of warmth, and this definitely gives me that. I just love it. It blends easily, it works great, smells amazing, and just looks really good on my cheeks. So the next thing I have to share with you guys, I'm hesitant to share, one, because I mentioned this actually months and months ago in one of my monthly favorites videos, and this product has actually been discontinued. It's the Hard Candy Glow All The Way Bronzer, but I love this highlighter. I'd almost not even call this a highlighter. This is very subtle. The way that this acts on my skin reminds me of the way people talk about the Hourglass ambient lighting powders. I've never actually tried those yet, but honestly this is just a very subtle highlighting powder that's very refined. I mean, it's very soft, I can't explain it. It feels just like silk on the skin, and it gives your skin just the tiniest bit of like a luminance, which I think is just so beautiful. The reason I'm mentioning it today is I want to know if any of you guys have tried any of Hard Candy's more recent highlighters, because I know they have quite a few at the drugstore. I haven't picked one up for years since I picked this thing up. Hard Candy is one of those brands that I feel like often gets overlooked. The fact that I've been reaching for this so much over the last, it's probably been about 2 weeks now, makes me really want to go back into the Hard Candy section and just kind of scope things out and see what kind of highlighters they have, maybe buy a couple, maybe see if any of them have similar formulas to this one. Because this thing is amazing. I am really sad that it's actually been discontinued because I think it's such a great, beautiful product. So now let's move on to the newer products that I've really been loving this month. The first one is a blush, and this is from Bare Minerals. I know I talked about this in my Christmas gift guide. This was one of my recommendations. This one specifically is in the color Let's Go Nude. This is a gorgeous blush. I have this on today. It's a perfect, if you want your blush and your bronzer to really just kind of mesh really well together, this does that so beautifully. I've tried it with quite a few different bronzers, including my Essence bronzer. I've tried it with my Butter bronzer, my Too Faced bronzer, and this just works good with any bronzer. Like, think of an ombre effect. That's what this reminds me of. It gives my cheeks kind of that like perfectly ombre sort of effect where I have like a little bit deeper bronzer here, and this is just a little bit lighter, but it kind of has those similar undertones to it. It looks so healthy and natural on the cheeks. I love this stuff. I love their formula. I think it's really fantastic. I actually recently saw a handful of these Bare Minerals blushes at my Marshalls. I would definitely recommend picking these up. If you've ever been to Marshalls and shopped for makeup, it's one of those places that unless you get things like right when they come out, sometimes their makeup just gets totally destroyed. I definitely recommend maybe checking and see if they have these. I think they were like $7.99, which is a fantastic deal for these blushes. So next up is an eyeshadow palette. Believe it or not, I have been able to put my Juvia's Place palette down a few times this month, and the one that I've been reaching for so often is this one right here. This is the Milani Soft and Sultry palette. Now, quick heads up, I actually just did a video comparing all 4 of the Milani eyeshadow palettes and kind of doing a tutorial with all 4 of the palettes. Hopefully that sounds interesting to you guys, and hopefully that footage turned out. I haven't looked at all of it yet, but I have not been able to put this one down. I just am really into the cooler tones. There's just something about when the weather turns cold, I really just dig a cool tone look. A cool tone eye look, a cool tone lip look. It just feels very kind of cozy and wintry to me, and this palette is the most perfect cool tone palette I've ever tried. I love this one. The colors in here are fantastic. If you've been looking for an affordable option for a cooler tone palette, this is definitely the one to get. I love the variety that you get in this. You can create a lot of different versions of a cool tone look with this palette. And these matte shades down here, you guys, you know I love a very rich, intense, blendable matte eyeshadow, and that's exactly what these are. Fantastic quality. I absolutely love this palette. So since we're on the subject of what's on my eyes, let's move on to what's on my lips. So I am wearing the Flower Beauty Miracle Matte Liquid Lipstick, and this one's in the color Dark and Stormy. So here's the thing. I love the kind of cooler tone lip, but I personally feel like I'm not someone that can pull it off very well. In fact, I did pick up a shade from L'Oreal. I actually looked through my drawers because I thought I did save that shade. I can't find it. I'm not even sure what it was called, but it was one of their matte liquid lipsticks that kind of look like their glosses like this. It definitely had that kind of gray tone feel. And I would put that on and like walk around the house, and I was like, I look like a zombie. Like, it just does not look right on me. But back in the month of like September, I watched Jamie Page here on YouTube, and she was talking about Flower Beauty, and she actually put on this color in her video. And I was like, okay, what is on her lips? That looks like the color I have been searching for, because it was like that gray tone without being overly gray. So she talked about it in that video. I loved how it looked on her. So I was a little bit skeptical, but I picked it up at my Walmart. And this lip color is everything that my cool tone dreams were made of. I mean, it is the perfect cool-ish toned lip color. This lip, I feel like, doesn't cross that zombie kind of line. It has just enough coolness to it that it's not too edgy, if that makes any sense. So if you're someone that maybe has kind of been eyeing that trend, like, ooh, I think that would be fun to try, but I'm not sure if that would look good on me. This is definitely like the type of color I think would look good on a variety of people. It's a perfectly done cooler tone lip. It's deep, but it's not too deep. It's cool, but it's not too cool. So I'm a big fan of this. If you kind of are into that kind of look, if you've wanted to dip your toes into it, I definitely recommend checking out this guy. So this month I've really been loving this Essence Make Me Brow, and I've actually had this in my collection for many months. When I first tried this, I actually did not like it very much because I felt like it was just a little bit difficult to work with. I think I really just had not kind of learned the bit of learning curve that this specific product has. I do find because so much product comes out on the brush that you definitely need to wipe the brush off before you kind of go into your eyebrows and start to shape things. But if you do that first, this really does amazing things for your eyebrows. If you like a fuller, kind of thicker, more fluffy brow that's also going to stay in place, this is just a really great brow product. But I have lately been wanting to try and kind of improve my brow technique and my brow products, and I really feel like this has been helping, and I love that it's a drugstore price, because as much as I would love a really nice, perfect looking eyebrow, I'm really someone that's a lot more low maintenance. I don't like to take a lot of time with my eyebrows because often I just don't have the time to take with it, and I kind of feel like just my style of makeup kind of lends to more of like a kind of natural, feathery looking brow. So if that sounds like you, then I think that you might get along really well with this product as well. So I have another brush to share with you guys this month, and it's the Morphe M507 brush. Now, this is it right here. I actually picked this up during my trip in Virginia in October, and I have been loving this brush. This is a really great brush. If you have smaller eyes, this I think is going to change your life. It's $6 from Ulta. I picked mine up in my Ulta store. I'm going to give you guys a reference point. So this is my kind of beloved M504 that I feel like I use in pretty much every get ready with me or tutorial. Pretty much whenever I do my makeup, I use this brush. And you can see it's significantly smaller than this one, but I feel like, I know I've said this before about another brush, which is my M505 brush, which I love this brush as well. But I have found myself kind of gradually just whittling down to these two brushes. Occasionally, if I'm doing something a little bit more detailed, I'll use all three if I really want like really precise control and a lot of gradient to my eye look. But for the most part, if I'm doing something relatively simple, I'll use these two together. This for my kind of more kind of blurred out transition shades, and this for more detail work in my outer crease. And I will say that I love the little bit of extra definition that this gives me. I don't know how well you can tell from here, but this has a very pointed tip, which actually makes this fantastic for placing color right where you want to place it, but it is still a blending brush, so it will still blend out color in a very precise kind of way. This also works great for the lower lash line. I did use this on my eyes today, and hopefully you can tell, like I feel like I have just a little bit more definition and shape to my eyeshadow than I typically do. Normally I go for kind of a very blurred out look, but I love that I now have the option to be a little bit more detailed with this brush. So the last two things I have to share with you guys are not necessarily makeup related, but I've been loving them nonetheless. And the first one is a kale polish. I know I've talked about kale polish before. I've just, over the last probably 5 months or so, really gotten into taking care of my nails, specifically to painting my nails, because here's the thing. If I paint my nails, it helps me to not pick at or bite on my nails. In my mind, I think that's a pretty good thing. I mean, I know possibly the chemicals in nail polish and nail polish removers are probably not good for your nails, but your teeth aren't good for your nails either. If you're a nail biter, you know what I'm talking about. But I have just specifically been loving the Kale polish line. I think her nail polishes are amazing for two reasons. Number one, they last really well. And an average day for me is my hands are in dishwater probably like 5 times a day. So obviously I'm going to be a little bit rougher on nail polish than maybe the average person or a lot of people out there. And I'm kind of careless. I should wear gloves when I'm doing dishes, but I just don't remember to do that very often. But Kale polishes, nail polishes, typically last on my nails for about 2 or 3 days before I start to get kind of the fading on the tips or chipping on the tips. I really have just been really impressed with this line in general. And this specific color, you guys, I actually just got this a week ago. I wanted to squeak it into this favorites video anyway though, because this was like a love at first sight thing. This is the color Zoe. I have it on my nails right now. I feel like this is just the most perfect. I don't know how else to describe this other than saying if you are into neutral colored nails, but you still want to see a hint of color on your nails and you like sort of feminine colors, that's exactly what this color is. I absolutely love this. Probably one of my favorites from her line so far, and I've tried quite a few. But the second and perhaps most important reason that I love her nail polishes so much they are extremely quick and easy to apply. If you are someone that struggles to put nail polish on, I sometimes feel like I am putting nail polish on with 2 left hands when I'm doing my nails because I just feel like I'm a little unsteady. I always seem to make a mess. I find that so much different with her nail polishes. They go on so quickly because the brush is the perfect shape and it's really, really large. It's just really easy to apply my nail polish. I don't make a big mess. And I think the biggest thing is that her nail polishes dry so quickly, because I'm sure those of you that paint your nails at home have been in this situation where you paint your nails, you wait about 3 minutes and then you have stuff to do. You don't wait long enough and then you end up messing up your nails and wonder why you painted them in the first place. So I painted my nails right before this video today, and it literally took me, I think, about 1.5 minutes to paint both hands and another 1.5 minutes for it to completely dry. That is life-changing for me because heaven knows I usually don't have the time, or really it's mainly the patience, to sit down and wait for 30 minutes for my nails to completely dry. Quick heads up for those of you that maybe have been looking into trying Kale polish, I definitely would recommend that you make sure that you're subscribed to her YouTube channel and also follow her on Instagram, because she quite often does flash sales. And they're pretty significant. Usually her flash sales are for 40 to 50% off of her nail polishes, and that actually takes them down to a super affordable price. Alright guys, the last thing I have to mention for you is a hair product, and it is the Schwarzkopf Got To Be Volume Maniac Hairspray. I picked this up at my Walmart. I typically am very anti-hairspray, only because of 2 reasons. If I'm doing my hair in its kind of naturally wavy, curly state, my hair is very, very dry, and I'm very sensitive with how my curls feel. I don't like them to feel overly dry. I don't like them to feel sticky or coated with too much product, which is kind of a difficult thing to do. But usually I avoid hairspray because so often I find that more than anything, it doesn't seem to do very much for me other than make my hair feel dry and coated and dirty a lot faster. Also, for the times that I go through the trouble of straightening my hair, I usually like my hair to stay styled straight for about 4 or 5 days before I'll wash it again. And if I put too much hairspray in my hair, I just find that it gets dirty faster. It feels very coated and heavy, and it just kind of bothers me. So I picked this up on a whim, wondering if this might help to, one, control some of the frizz, because I have a lot of like this kind of post-baby breakage that's starting to like grow back in is kind of giving me trouble sometimes. So I wanted to kind of control some of that frizz and hope to maybe get a little bit of extra volume at my roots. So I saw this guy and decided to give it a try, and I actually really love this hairspray. I do find that it still does make my hair feel a little bit coated, but compared to so many of the other hairsprays I've tried, I don't find it to be too significant. But most importantly, I find that this actually does help give my hair a little bit of extra body that actually lasts for longer than like 25 minutes. So I've been using this a lot lately. I find that it has a pretty good hold level without making my hair feel overly coated or overly crunchy. Keep in mind though, because I don't use and try a lot of hairsprays, I'm definitely not an expert when it comes to hairspray, but I definitely have been enjoying what this does for my hair. So if you have been looking for a good hairspray, maybe give this one a try. I mean, I mentioned I found this at my Walmart. I think it was like between $4 and $5. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. And with that, that is it for my November favorites. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know if you guys have tried any of these products. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on them. I'd also love to know if you guys have any changes in your makeup routine or taste as the weather gets colder. I think that'd be a fun conversation to get going in the comments below. If you are new here, welcome. I hope that you'll hit that subscribe button and join me for my future videos. With that said, I hope that you guys have a fantastic day or weekend wherever you are, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.